right, so good afternoon and a warm welcome to the program presentation for the Master of Mathematics. I think do we wait another minute for more people to join?
Yeah, so that everybody can join, gets the opportunity.
Let's give it a minute. Otherwise, we'll give a private presentation to 3 people now. Okay, that's good. All right. More people pouring in. That's good. So I think we'll just start with the introduction and then hopefully more people will have joined. Good afternoon, everybody, and once again, a warm welcome to the program presentation for the Master of Mathematics. Going on to the next slide. My name is Jesse. I'm a first-year master student in the specialization Algebra, Geometry, and Number Theory, and I will allow the other wonderful people in the room to introduce themselves.
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthijs. I'm a second-year student, also in the Algebra, Geometry, and Number Theory master. So that's me.
This is not working.
No, that's unfortunate.
And I will be here to answer questions in the Q&A.
Yeah. My name is Dirk van der Hoeven. I'm an assistant professor in mathematical machine learning.
My name is Martin Bright. I'm associate professor in number theory and arithmetic geometry, and I'm also the program director of this master's program.
Hi, I'm Jagna. I'm an assistant professor in the Algebra, Geometry, and Number Theory section, and I am the study advisor for the Master of Mathematics in Algebra, Geometry, and Number Theory.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your introduction. So let's jump straight into possibly one of the most important questions, which is why Leiden? And if this presentation wasn't about the master program, I would say look at the gorgeous city. Think the channels, the museums, the events, the festivals. So even if you don't study here, I can still strongly advise you to take a stroll around Leiden. That's really worth your while. But of course, our program is more than just the city it's in. Leiden is well known as a student city, a reputation it has earned by the numerous student associations, which range from sports to music to culture to religion. So it's really something for everyone. And one association I want to call by name is the Leidse Fles, which is the study association for physics, mathematics, astronomy, and data science and artificial intelligence, to name a few. And that's really a hub for us students to connect with students from other disciplines, attend career events, etc. Another good thing to say is that Leiden is very central in the Netherlands. So it's a 30-minute train ride to Amsterdam, about 20 minutes to The Hague, and 40 minutes to Rotterdam. But as already, I believe you said, our study program is more than the city we are in. We take a lot of pride in the fact that our program has a lot of freedom. We're going to get into that some more later. But one of the main points is that in the high-level mathematics courses that you're going to be doing, there aren't any compulsory courses, meaning that you can really tailor your own program to fit your interests. Our study environment is also very informal, which is best seen on campus. We have a lot of study spaces which are right next to the offices of teachers and researchers, making contact with them very easy. And we have a very strong international orientation, which is best seen in the lectures themselves, where approximately 50% of students are international students. But that's my 2 cents. Dirk, what is your view on this?
Well, my view is that it's a very well, we have a lot of faculty members, so we have 60 academic staff members and 50 PhD students. There's also quite a bit of students themselves, so we have 138 master students and 288 bachelor students. But as you can already tell, the student-to-staff ratio is quite low, which makes it easy for you to interact with your teachers, to find nice master research topics, to learn what's the newest in the field. And this is also beneficial for us teachers, right? Because we love interacting with you guys. At least I do. I'm not sure about you two, but for me, it's always a joy to learn from what students think. And that helps me progress my own research. And talking about research, we are not only teachers at the Mathematical Institute, we are also world-level researchers, as evidenced by the grants we obtain. This is just a subset of the grants we obtain, but for example, Marta Spreafico and Marta Fiocco obtained grants for doing research in medical statistics. We've got multiple ERC grants, so Jan Vonk, David Holmes, and Peter Grumot obtained ERC grants, which is basically the most money you can get at a European level. Very prestigious, I would like to add. Then there's also people who have grants on a national level. So Jan Vonk, Francesca Arici, Mirko Signorelli, Roland Merks, and Herman Jan all have funds to hire PhD students and postdocs and to do their research. And as you can tell, the topics are quite diverse. So from medical statistics to nonlinear analysis, we have it all. And then we also have a world-famous mathematician called Hendrik Lenstra, who won the equivalent of the Dutch Nobel Prize. All right. I'm just trying to add the click. And not only do we have these great researchers, there's also many opportunities to work in different fields. So Algant is not just a different field, but it's a master program where you can work not only or you can study not only in Leiden, but also here abroad in, I think, one of 10 associated institutes. We also work together with the Quantum Software Consortium, which is a group of people dedicated to writing software for quantum computers. And as you can imagine, we need quite a bit of mathematicians to write proper software. Sounds weird because you might expect this to work to need computer scientists, but there's really a big mathematical foundation required to write this software. Talking about software, we also work closely together with the CWI, the Center for Mathematics and Computer Science, which is known for developing Python and being the place where the European Internet started. A current very interesting research program that runs there is to develop an alternative for p-values, which you may have come across in your bachelor program. And every year we have a couple of master students working on this. Then there's also the Networks Consortium, which studies stochastic and algorithmic properties of very large networks, where you can think of Facebook being a big network of connected people. How do the mathematical properties of this network actually behave or like? All right. Then I go back to you.
Yes, let's briefly touch upon admission. So to do a master's degree here at the Leiden University, you need a bachelor. For the Master of Mathematics, you're going to need a Bachelor of Mathematics. If you have a bachelor's degree or almost have a bachelor's degree of mathematics from a Dutch research university, then admission is easy. You're automatically eligible to enter our program. If you have another degree, our Board of Admission will look at your degree, and the full admission process is listed on our site. So let's dive into some detail about the programs we have on offer. We have 6 different specializations, 2 of which being research masters and 4 of which being combination masters. They all have a few things in common. They're all 120 European credits or study points, and they all take approximately 2 years. The difference lying predominantly in the fact that research masters focus more on high-level mathematics courses, and the combination masters spending approximately a year on establishing a strong link to another field. So let's hop into those research masters first. So 120 study points in total, as with all specializations. 60 of those are going to be advanced mathematics courses. So that can be your traditional lecture practice course, but it could also be a reading course or a seminar course, which is a little bit more interactive. And out of those 60 study points, at least 30 are going to be Master Math courses. Now, Master Math is the national consortium of most major universities in the Netherlands, organizing master level mathematics courses spread out over the country, which also means you have experts from all over the country, assuring that there's a wide variation of different courses and different experts teaching them. 40 study points are going to be spent on the research project. There you're going to take your very own mathematical subject and develop it, look at literature, and work with your supervisor to create a nice master thesis. If you're curious about what a master thesis looks like for mathematics, you can take a look at the student repository where most master theses are published. Finally, we have 20 study points of electives, and you have a lot of freedom in picking the electives. You can do a course on physics or computer science or I think data science and artificial intelligence, but you can also do something that's a little bit further away from mathematics. I know people that went ahead and did a few language courses, and it's also possible for international students to take a course in Dutch, which can be really useful. So what are students going to be doing in the applied master?
Well, there are several topics. One of these topics is analysis and dynamical systems, where you can learn about multi-skill mathematical biology from Roland Merckx. You can learn about bifurcation theory, dynamical systems, and partial differential equations. To me, these are all very exciting topics. If I had the chance, I would do this master right now, actually. And then there's also abstract functional analysis, linear, where you learn about linear analysis, functional analysis, Fourier analysis, advanced measure theory, and operator algebras. The pictures, by the way, are of the teachers. And then we also have several courses on probability, operations, research, and dynamics, where you can learn about stochastic processes, complex networks, queuing theory, and ergodic theory. And then finally, and I'm biased here, the most interesting group of courses, mathematical statistics. And as you can tell by the picture that people used for me, I am actually very, very excited about this track. So machine learning theory is where you'll find me. You can also learn about statistics, health data science, and survival analysis. And to get an idea, what you learn, you really go beyond what you've learned in the bachelor. So it's really in machine learning theory, it's not just you get your data set and then you have to generalize to unseen data. There's this interactive component in there. So you make a prediction, get feedback, and now the question is, how do we learn from this feedback? All right, and then on to Martin for the other part of the...
Yeah, so I'll tell you something about the courses available in the algebra, geometry, number theory flavor of the master's program. So this, as the title suggests, covers algebra, geometry, and number theory, where algebra could, for example, mean commutative algebra going into algebraic geometry. It could also mean algebraic number theory. Further on the number theory side, you could think of analytic number theory. You can think of arithmetic statistics, topics in that kind of direction. On the geometry front, we have a group with many strong people in not only algebraic geometry, but also differential geometry, symplectic geometry, and the arithmetic topics such as elliptic curves, rational points on algebraic varieties. So those topics that lie in between geometry and number theory. So here's a list of some of the courses that you could take. These are the people who work slightly more towards the algebra and number theory side. And among the courses, most of these courses are ones that are offered by Master. Some of them are also offered as local courses. For example, algebraic number theory going in the direction of applications in cryptology or coding theory, or going more back in the theoretical direction of, say, modular forms, commutative algebra, analytic number theory. An important thing to note with this specialization as a master is that we are part of a consortium called ALGANT, which is Algebra, Geometry and Number Theory, an international master's degree, which is a collaboration of 8 universities, which are listed here. I see 9 listed there.
Oh, yeah, Denmark is not part of it.
Anyway, ALGANT has its own website, and it's a great program. You spend 1 year at one university, you spend the other year at the other university. At the end of it, you get 2 master's degrees, and you've spent time in 2 different cities. You do, if you want to do that, have to apply separately from simply applying to our master's program. ALGANT has a separate application procedure, and I suggest you look at the ALGANT website if you want to find out about that. Just Google ALGANT, and you'll find information.
All right, thank you, Martin. Let's move on to the combination masters, starting with the Master in Mathematics and Education. Unfortunately, this master is Dutch only, as all our courses will be taught in Dutch. which means that to be admitted, you have to show a B2 level language proficiency. So contrary to the research master, there's going to be a little bit less focus on the advanced mathematics courses with 30 study points as opposed to 60. And the research project is also going to be a little bit smaller, 30 study points instead of 40. That is to make room for the 60 study points, or approximately a year in the educational component, which is going to educate you in becoming an educator, and it's going to allow you to become a high school teacher in all of the Netherlands on any level and grade. Alternatively, it's possible to do the World Teaching Program, which is going to give you an international teaching certificate, allowing you to work internationally as a teacher. Moving on to the Mathematics and Science Communication Master, and this is really focused on sharing our mathematical and scientific knowledge with a broader public. Think about science journalisms or museums, etc. And here there's quite a lot of freedom. You can choose to do the full 60 study points of advanced mathematics courses that you have in the research master, or you can do a little bit less. The research project is going to be somewhere between 20 and 40 study points, and approximately a year or a little less is going to be spent on the science communication component. We have a few courses listed right here, and you're always going to be ending this with an internship to put your skills to the test. Very similar in structure, but not in content, is the combination master in mathematics and business, which is focused on using our scientific knowledge in the corporate world, in the industry. Again, we have some courses listed in gray. Similarly to science communication, there's a little bit of choice in how many advanced math courses you do. The research project here is going to be a little bit smaller at 20 study points, and approximately a year is going to be spent in the business study component, ending with a business internship to, again, put your skills to the test. Finally, last but not least, we have our newest specialization, which is mathematics and high tech, which is focused on the collaboration between different fields. And here you're going to be doing 2 research projects. You're going to be doing a year of high-level mathematics, which is going to be finished with a 20 study point research project. Then we're going to have 30 study points in the high tech components. Again, we have some courses here listed in gray. And then finally, you're going to be doing a 30 study point research project at a company. One thing that's good to say is that all of the combinations, so education, science communication, business, and high tech, have their separate presentation. So if you're interested in these, be sure to take a look at those as well. Now, regardless of what master you choose, the Leiden University wants you to succeed, and it's going to help you in a couple of ways. You can think about workshops on personal management, think planning, stress management. You have student psychological support, and if you're studying with a disability, of course, you can get help with that too. The Science Career Service is largely focused on getting you ready for the career market. They have workshops, for example, in writing. I personally like the writing lab very much, which is very useful if you're going to be doing a research project. And if you're getting to the later parts of your master and looking onwards to perhaps a PhD position or a position at a company, and a resume check and a walk-in consultation might be very nice to prepare you for that. Finally, we have the Young Alumni Network, which is both useful before and after you graduate. Before you graduate, it's very useful to see, hey, where are alumni going? What companies should I be looking to? And after you graduate, it's very nice to be able to exchange experience with other alumni. So once you graduate, the possibilities are quite endless. But sadly, endless possibilities do not fit on one slide. So we've listed a few here. And some fields are going to use your mathematical knowledge a bit more directly than others. Think about medical statistics and data science, which might use it a little more directly. But other fields might have a lot of use for typical skills that mathematicians learn, like analytic thinking and problem solving. So that's going to be it for me for right now. We're going to move on to the Q&A in a little bit, but before we do that, I want to quickly say, if you have any questions after the Q&A, be sure to visit our website for more information. And if then you still have questions, be sure to contact us at info@math.leidenuniv. There's also this thing called UniBuddy. If you go to the website of the master program and scroll down, you're going to get a small little pop-up that looks like an AI chatbot, but it's not an AI chatbot because I am not AI. And you can ask your questions there, and I will personally see to it that your questions are answered. And our next information event is going to be on campus in February. All right, so let's move on to the Q&A. Yeah, it's going to be leaving. All right, so maybe let's start off with a question that might be very relevant for international students. How's the housing situation?
Yeah, well, to be completely fair with you, in all of the Netherlands, it's quite hard to find housing, but we have an advantage in Leiden because it is a smaller city. It has a bit less of the problems that, for example, Amsterdam and Utrecht have. And if you want to study in the Netherlands, I think Leiden is still one of the best places to get housing. And currently, the student housing company in Leiden is also working hard to make it easier for international first-year students to prioritize getting them a room, so that they can be sure to have a room to start their studies in September when everything starts.
Okay. No questions yet. So let me just throw a couple more questions your way. In being a teacher and perhaps even supervising master theses, what are places that you see students going?
You're talking about after the master?
After the master, yeah.
So actually, this is something that we devote some attention to within the master's program, because we have this thing that runs called the Master's Colloquium, and particularly in the spring semester, then we invite a number of our alumni back to come and tell us about what they're doing now and where they've gone. And they really go all over the place. So we have people who go and work for tech companies, we have people who work for banks, we have people who work for non-profit organizations, government research organizations such as TNO, for example. Obviously, we have plenty of people who go on to do a PhD, either in the Netherlands or elsewhere. There is no typical mathematics graduate, I think. Mathematics graduates are valuable wherever they turn up. And yeah, the skills you learn during a master's degree are ones that you can apply everywhere.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that's only positive, that there's no typical mathematics graduate. No limitations there. So we have a couple of questions coming in. Which email do we communicate with for admissions? So is that I think it's the admissions office?
Yeah, I think it would depend whether it's a kind of technical question over the admissions system and over things like registrations and logins and all this kind of thing. In that case, you should communicate with the central admissions office. If you have a specific question about, this is my background, do you think I can be admitted to the master's program? Then you can feel free to email, which address is best.
I think science communication is, or science student administration is best.
Science student administration works. You can also email this voorlichtingscommissie.
Yeah.
So voorlichting is, I guess this.
Yeah. This email address works.
Will be on the website.
Yeah.
So if you're also interested in a specific professor in the department, you should also feel free to email them directly. Usually people are very friendly here and would answer to your email.
Yeah. I mean, the question here is specifically over admissions requirements and exceptions eligibility. Ultimately, that's something that is determined by the admissions committee. So that you won't get a final answer about that without actually applying to the program. Then we look through all of your paperwork. A lot of people put a lot of effort into assessing the background. So the final answer only comes after you've applied. But if you have informal questions about what we think the prospects might be, then do feel free to email the address that you can find on our maths department website.
Yeah. So let's move on to the second question by Ervan. If you could scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, sorry, that was that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I have I have a computer science degree with an uncompleted minor in mathematics. I believe that does not qualify you for automatic. I assume this is within the Netherlands. I believe that does not qualify you for automatic admission to our program. Again, this is a question for the admissions committee. In terms of pre-masters, we don't have an official pre-master's program. It's possible, given that you're Dutch and a lot of our undergraduate courses are in Dutch, it's possible to take courses just as a contract student. If you think that will improve your chances of being admitted to the mathematics master.
Okay, so a very good question from Anna, who asks, until when can you sign up for Algant?
I think the deadline is sometime in January, and I say this because I know that the selection procedure is in February and March.
Yeah, so it's definitely earlier than the regular masters, and I believe Algant strictly starts in September, right, and not in September and February.
Yes, the Algant program only starts in September.
Yeah, so and you can start with the master program in February for the.
That's a good point, yes. So the normal master's program, you can in theory start it in September or in February. You probably get a slightly better progress of courses through the curriculum if you start in September, but yeah, it doesn't make a big difference.
All right. Flor asks, online I read that there's also a specialization called applied mathematics. Is that the term for the overall study, or is that a specialization on its own? I believe that's the research specialization for applied mathematics. So that has the same form as the research master that we just explained in the presentation, with the difference from algebra, geometry, and number theory being the content of the high-level master courses that you're going to be taking.
Yeah, in practice, this is. So if you do the master's degree in mathematics, then you have to choose a specialization. And unless you're going to do one of the kind of one of the combined programs, then you're going to choose either to do algebra, geometry, number theory, or to do applied mathematics. Of course, there are many parts of mathematics, for example, theoretical analysis or whatever, that you might not think come under the heading of applied mathematics, but that is where they belong in this division into.
All right. If one is interested in applying mathematics to help in healthcare, what specialization would be the best fit? So off the top of my head, I would say mathematical statistics, but I don't know if perhaps you have different opinions on that.
So we do have members who work jointly between LUMC, which is the medical center of Leiden, and the math department. So they are listed the names. I think it was part of the machine learning category.
The thing is, there's many different areas of mathematics that can be applied to healthcare. So,
of course, yeah.
So dynamical systems, differential equations. We have people who have joint projects with LUMC, modeling flow of blood, for example. On the other hand, statistics is also extremely useful in medical applications. So it really depends which kind of mathematics you like. It could probably be applied in a I don't know if number theory has healthcare applications,
but in general, so you would say the applied mathematics.
Yeah, I'm going for the applied mathematics master, but within that there are many different specializations or many different kind of areas of concentration that can all be applied in healthcare.
Yeah,
absolutely. And what I'd like to add is that if you choose a certain specialization, for example, mathematics and science communication, that does not strictly mean that you're going to work at a newspaper. The possibilities are still wide open. So there's no clear tracks of, oh, you're going to do this specialization, and then you have these 3 companies that you're applying to, and otherwise you're out of a job. So there's many possibilities, even if you choose a specialization that might, in the first instance, not seem to match up. All right, no more questions for now. Matthijs, you chose for the algebraic, not the algebraic, the algebra, geometry, and number theory specialization. What drove you towards that choice?
Yeah, it's a good question. I was not really sure when I visited, for example, the presentation myself on the master, if I wanted to do applied mathematics or algebra, geometry, and number theory. And for me, it was really at the end of my bachelor's. So I signed up for both masters. You can also do that and then decide later. But at the end of my bachelor, I did a really fun research project in differential geometry, which is not that deep into the algebra, geometry, and number theory, but you can use a lot of all kinds of different topics. I used topology. I used some, well, not a lot of algebraic geometry, but it all has connections, and that was for me really exciting. That all those different things I learned throughout the bachelor came together, and when I started the masters, you really see that all subjects on the algebra, geometry, number theory side are really interconnected and ask a lot of the same questions. So I liked it really well, and no doubt it's also true for the applied mathematics master, but that was for me why I chose to continue the algebra, geometry, number theory master.
Okay, wonderful. I see there are actually two questions which we didn't quite get to yet. One of them being, what are the rules for double enrollment for master's degrees? So I would like to ask, do you mean a double enrollment in the sense of a combination master, so mathematics and education or mathematics and science communication, or do you mean a double enrollment with a master of mathematics and, for example, a master in physics? So, well, maybe we get an answer to that.
F on nuances.
Yeah. So maybe we can move on to question 3. Well, after I've asked that question, who are the most inspirational teachers here?
Everyone.
Oh, that's a loaded question. Okay, so 2 simultaneous enrollments, so we'll get back to that in a little bit. So let me give you, to answer to question 3, let me give you an answer from a student, which is going to sound very fake because the teacher of that course is right here, but I'm currently taking a course in algebraic curves. And I really like that course since it has a very small group of people taking it. So I think we were with 7, 8 at the last lecture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something I really like about the local courses, because you have local courses and master math courses. And with the local courses, you're usually with quite a small group, so you have a lot of space to ask questions, and it feels quite informal.
Yeah. Well, I would like to add, I've taken a lot of master math courses to the whole country, and you really notice that this will also sound fake, but you really notice that the best teachers are, in general, from Leiden. And I want to specifically name David Holmes, who made, for me, quite boring subject, commutative algebra, very vivid. So I liked that course really a lot when he gave it. And at this moment, I'm following algebraic number theory. That's also given by 2 people from Leiden, Jan Vonk and Peter Stevenage, and they really make each lecture feel like an adventure. They ask lots of questions to us, to which we have to think, but they also, the questions are always in a way that we can find our way to the mathematical jungle ourselves. And I think that's a really exciting way of learning that subject.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's get back to question 2. Everyone has commented 2 simultaneous enrollments, even at different universities. So I think you just need to be applicable or need to be admissible to both programs? Question mark.
I assume there's nothing to stop you doing this. I'm not sure I would recommend it, but I think these run totally independently of each other, as far as I know.
And I know with bachelor studies that if you pay tuition at one university, you can use your proof of admission. I don't know what the English term is, to be exempted from paying tuition a second time in another university. So I think that also applies to the master, but for that, you should take a look on the website of Duo. Duo is the leading organization in the Netherlands regarding tuition and student funds.
Yeah, and the answer may depend on whether you're an EU citizen or not.
Yeah.
For example,
So there are some fine details there that you should take a look at on the site of Duo.
so those are a couple of questions that you can easily answer.
Yeah, maybe I will just type
Yeah.
type them at the end. The names of David
Yeah.
and Jan.
Do we have any new questions? Hey, that's fun.
A whole load of new questions.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
It's
that one
probably
we
already
got.
good.
Okay. Thank you for a nice presentation. I'm interested in the Algan program. Wonderful. Are there any prerequisites of courses I'm expected to have completed in my earlier studies?
I would say, having been involved in the admissions procedure for a few years, no strict requirements. On the other hand, it is very competitive. And we try to take into account where you're coming from. So if you're somewhere that doesn't even offer a course in a particular area, then it will be unreasonable to expect you to have done that. On the other hand, it is about algebra, geometry, number theory with a kind of emphasis on algebraic stuff. So if you've done no undergraduate algebra courses at all, it will be probably difficult to be admitted to Algan. How much you've done, to some extent, depends on what was available to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to emphasize again, it is very competitive.
Yeah, and in general, as a student for the for algebra, geometry, and number theory, so not Algan, I am taking a couple of courses with Algan's students, and I've noticed that, for example, to take commutative algebra, it's very useful to have seen some ring theory modules, that kind of stuff. But I believe for the non-Algan math program, there aren't any formal requirements either on the course you've taken, other than that you need to have completed a Bachelor of Mathematics or something that is equivalent.
Yes, an equivalent to a Dutch Bachelor's in Mathematics. I think, again, we would look more at the specialization that you're wanting to take. So if you want to take applied mathematics, we don't particularly care whether it's equivalent as far as algebra courses go, but maybe we do want to see that you've done some dynamical systems.
Yeah. Umra asks, for the AG&T specialization, how does the difficulty of master courses compare to the difficulty of BM courses offered at Leiden? So I think I can answer this one.
Because say what a BM course is first.
Yeah.
A BM course is a so-called bachelor master course. And this is a course offered to late stage bachelor students and early stage master students. So I'm currently taking one bachelor master course, which is algebraic curves, and then four master math courses. And honestly, I found that the BM course is a little bit higher level than the other master courses that I've taken thus far. But I'm still in the early stages of my master, so maybe Matthijs can comment on this as well.
Yeah, for me, I really noticed a difference when starting the master math courses. The master math courses are also somewhat, they give you somewhat more credits, 8 instead of 6. And I think the speed is gets quite high of the content in the master math courses. So in general, most of the BM courses are like a prerequisite for a master math course, and because in master math people come from all kinds of different backgrounds, the first 2 weeks maybe start a bit slowly with some repetition if you already saw it elsewhere, but after that they get quite difficult, and some of the most challenging courses I took, well, all of the most challenging courses I took in my Leiden time are from master math. Yeah, so that's also fun, but it is difficult. You have to work hard too.
Sounds like I still have a lot to do with my master math courses. Another question is, how do you manage your expectations about how amazing the city, study, or facilities are when confronted with the day-to-day reality of studying? Well, that's a very broad question. As a student, I can say that what's most important for me is the study space in the Mathematical Institute. I really greatly benefit from the fact that I can sit down, talk to my fellow students, and I can, if I need help with anything, I can just knock on the door of the PhD or the teacher that gives a certain course. And there are plenty of spaces to work together, to collaborate. So that's the biggest thing for me. The Faculty of Science is, I think, a 20-minute walk out from the city center. So to really see the beautiful inner city, that's going to be a bit of a travel. But I do know people who have a few hours in between courses and bike to the city to lunch in a park or whatever. So that is something that students do, even at the Faculty of Science.
I mean, for me, I cycle to work every morning right through the centre of Leiden, and
Oh,
it's a
that's
beautiful street, and it gives me a nice little lift on the way to work. On the way to get
Yeah.
home, actually.
And if you want to enjoy both the beautiful city and the studying, there is a beautiful library in the city center, right next to a canal, very pretty canal where you
Yeah.
can sit and work, have a view of the canal. That will give you both. Maybe also I should say that I don't know, the word day-to-day reality of studying sounds a bit heavy. So there's study advisor for that as well with me. So you could come talk to me always.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the question from Anna. For the Algan program, is it necessary to study abroad for a year?
Yes, whatever abroad means, because you study in 2 different countries if you do the outcome program. 1 year at one university, 1 year at another university.
Okay, so would it, for example, be possible for French students to do a year in Bordeaux and a year in Paris?
I don't know. I think probably not. I think this would go kind of against the spirit of the program, but I don't actually know.
So when you sign up, you have to, like when you are admitted, you have to tell the Algan committee what your 2 universities are going to be like, and they approve it or not. That's roughly how it goes.
Well, for what I've heard from Algan students, the year abroad is something they're really excited for. So in general, it's considered a very much an upside to the Algan program.
Yeah, you can do 2 years abroad, of course. You can go to
Oh.
Italy and then France. I mean, why
really?
why do one of the years in the Netherlands if you already live?
True.
But of course, you should come.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we have 3 minutes left, so I think it's time for perhaps a last question or last 2 questions. I don't know if you have any new questions coming in. Not quite. All right, then I think it's time to say thank you for watching and for attending. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact us at info@math.leidenunif. Use the Unibuddy, and we hope to see many of you at the physical open day in February. I think it's February 12th. The right date is on the website, and we hope to see you perhaps in February, perhaps in September in the master.
Thank you.
Thank you.